Om. Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Sahana Vavatu. Sahano Bhunaktu. Saha Viryam Karavavahai. Tejasvinavitastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us all be together. Let us all be nourished together. May we all work together with great vigor. May we not have disharmony, disunity amongst us. Let there be peace, peace, perfect peace. Offering reverential salutations, adorations, prostrations at the lotus feet of our Veda Mata, Veda Purusha, Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba. Most revered elders, dearest sisters, brothers, loving greetings to each and every one of you this beautiful morning, afternoon, and evening. Thank you all so much for joining from around the world, virtually and spiritually. Vasudeva Kutumbakam. Truly appreciate all of us coming together to dwell on the infinite glory, divine story, infinite syllables, and eternal echoes. Brothers and sisters, by your presence, you are contributing to fostering the Veda, protecting the Veda, spreading the fragrance of the Veda, Veda Poshana, Veda Rakshana, Veda Dharana. As Bhagavan has said, that if Dharma declines, the world will collapse. But if Veda declines, the entire universe will collapse. Thank you all, brothers and sisters, for being part of this wonderful Seva of Veda. How beautiful and how apt and can only be orchestrated by the Lord that when we started the series on Shivopasana, it was during Shravana Masa on the cusp of Krishna Janmashtami. This evening, as we conclude the series, it is on the cusp and during this auspicious time of Ganesha Chaturthi. As Atharva Sirsham, Kanpati Atharva Sirsham says, Tomdeva Mahadeva. I want to take this opportunity to also thank Uncle Shekhar. I think he has 36 hours in his day because the amount of duties he fulfills in spreading the Veda, teaching the Veda, and he is an inspiration to each and every one of us. And his enthusiasm for Vedas is contagious. Brothers and sisters, thank you so much. On behalf of all the brothers and sisters, we thank Uncle Shekhar, and it's been such a beautiful series. They say time flies when you're having fun. Each session has gone by so quickly in a blink of an eye. So tonight, because it's Ganesha Chaturthi as well, Uncle Shekharji has given us a bonus of extra 30 minutes. So perhaps, Uncle Shekhar, we can have 75 minutes, and then the last 15 minutes can be a Q&A. So brothers and sisters, if you have any questions, you can put it in the Zoom or the YouTube chat box. So without further ado, hand over to Uncle Shekharji. Thank you so much, brothers and sisters. Sairam.
Shri Sai Ishwaraya Namaha Harihi Om गणानान्त्वा त्वा गणपतिं गणपतिगुं हवामहे गणपतिमिति गणपतिं हवामहे कविं कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् उपमश्रवस्तममित्युपमश्रवः तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ज्येष्ठराजमिति ज्येष्ठ राजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणः ब्रह्मणस्पते पत आनः न शृण्वन्नोतिभिः ऊतिभिः सीद ऊतिभिरित्यूतिभिः सीदसादनं सादनमिति सादनं प्रणः नो देवी देवी सरस्वती सरस्वती वाजेभिः वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती वाजिनीवतीति वाजिनीवती धीनामवित्री अवित्र्यवतु अवत्वित्यवतु ॐ गणेशाय नमः सरस्वत्यै नमः श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ निधनपतये नमः निधनपतान्तिकाय नमः ऊर्ध्वाय नमः ऊर्ध्वलिङ्गाय नमः हिरण्याय नमः हिरण्यलिङ्गाय नमः सुवर्णाय नमः सुवर्णलिङ्गाय नमः दिव्याय नमः दिव्यलिङ्गाय नमः भवाय नमः भवलिङ्गाय नमः शर्वाय नमः शर्वलिङ्गाय नमः शिवाय नमः शिवलिङ्गाय नमः ज्वलाय नमः ज्वललिङ्गाय नमः आत्माय नमः आत्मलिङ्गाय नमः परमाय नमः परमलिङ्गाय नमः एतत्सोमस्य सूर्यस्य सर्वलिङ्गस्थापयति पाणिमन्त्रं पवित्रं सद्यो जातं प्रपज्यामि सज्जो जाताय वै नमो नमः भवे भवे नाति भवे भवस्व मां भवोद्भवाय नमः वामदेवाय नमो ज्येष्ठाय नमः श्रेष्ठाय नमः रुद्राय नमः कालाय नमः कलविकरणाय नमो बलविकरणाय नमो बलाय नमो प्रमथनाय नमः सर्वभूतदमनाय नमो मनोन्मनाय नमः अघोरेभ्योऽथ घोरेभ्यो घोरघोरतरेभ्यः सर्वेभ्यः सर्व शर्वेभ्यो नमस्ते अस्तु रुद्ररूपेभ्यः तत्पुरुषाय विद्महे महादेवाय धीमहि तन्नो रुद्रः प्रचोदयात् ईशानः सर्वविद्यानामीश्वर सर्वभूतानां ब्रह्माधिपतिर्ब्रह्मणोऽधिपतिर्ब्रह्मा शिवो मे अस्तु सदा शिवोम्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हृदाकाशे सदा भान्तं शान्तमानन्दरूपिणं ज्ञानभानुमहं वन्दे सद्गुरुं सत्यसायिनम्. Offering our collective love and pranams at the divine lotus feet of Bhagwan Shri 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 Satya Sai Baba. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hari Om, Shalom, Sairam, Namaste. Last week we concluded at the third Ruk of the central part 2 of the Shivopasana Mantra. I am very sure that that session was like bouncers, as they call it in cricket, googlies that probably didn't even register. The reason why it doesn't register is very simple. In our spiritual endeavor, there are three important things. The first one is conceptualization. The second one is actually bringing that concepts into practice. And then the last piece is perception. Very simple. Concept, practice, percept. Most of us fall into only two categories. We understand the concepts, but they are not percepts. What we perceive as perception is nothing to do with the concept, and therefore confusion arises. Very simple example. God is everywhere, within you and everywhere. This is a concept. It is a concept. That's where we stop. And when we are asked to actually ask the question, is that a percept? Do you truly have a perception of that? And then many of us will say, no, no, just believe in it, just have faith in it. And therefore, what happens is the concept stays as a concept and it never becomes truly an experiential reality, which I am calling as percept or perception. Therefore, what we do, many of these Veda mantras and their principles very simply remain as dogmas that have absolutely no practical application in our daily lives. Therefore, they stay as concepts and they die as concepts. So the real challenge is what? Unless you take a concept and you can relate it to through your own practice, and that practice really leads to experiential reality, and therefore you can tell someone, no, 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 this is not concept, it is truly a percept, it is truly an experience, and here is the experience part of it. This is exactly what happened between Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and Swami Vivekananda. But then what Bhagwan Ramakrishna did with Vivekananda, when Vivekananda challenged many people, sir, have you seen God? Have you experienced God? Many said, ah, they couldn't give an answer. But it was only Ramakrishna that took the challenge from Vivekananda, and he said, yes, I have. I have seen God as clearly as I am seeing you, and you can do so too. And therefore, he asked him to go into the sanctum sanctorium to experience that. It's an amazing, it is not a story, this is real. So, what happened last week when we were talking about, we were actually taking this concept of Shivopasana Mantras, the part one, and then, okay, great. I have now this linga, and this linga is etat somasya suryasya sarvalinga sthapayati pani mantram pavitram, the most pure hymn that is now in your hands, pani. This mantra is in your hand. Now go experience this mantra. And then we started with this next mantras from Sadhyo Jata Vamadeva Aghora Tat Purusha Ishana. And then when we dwelled into it, Hare, how do I experience this Pani mantram? This mantram that is in my hand as what? Sarvalinga Sthapayati. It's established now. What is established? The concept is established. But no, now you have to undertake the sadhana, the practice, the abhyasa, constantly giving reminders. Yes, this concept is going to be now practiced, and that practice leads to this experiential reality. So, in this last session of Shivopasana Mantra webinar, we had 5 mantras to practice. So, the practice mantras, the sadhana mantras are Sadyojata, Vamadeva, Tatpurusha, Aghora, Tatpurusha, Ishana. 5 ways of practice, 5 things to practice. 5 things to practice. How interesting. 5 fingers. And you tell people, give me a 5. Give me a 5. 5 things to practice. What are these 5 things to practice? And these 5 things last session we went through what all these 5 things are. Uh, if many of you probably have already forgotten what those 5 things are. The 5 as in the 5 elements of the nature. The 5 about the 5 functionalities of the divine consciousness. The 5 as in the 5 directions that you can perceive. As I received a question here, what happens the direction downward? The downward direction is not seen, you are standing on it. But the other directions you can actually see. The east as in where the sun is rising, the west as where the sun is setting, the south towards your right side when you are facing the sun, etc. And the upward direction. The downward direction is there, but it is not perceived. And therefore, the 5 directions and the 5 aspects of our own existence, the 5 limbs, the 5 organs of action, the 5 organs of perception. This is sadhana. And this sadhana started with Sadyojata, to put it in very simply, east direction, the first aspect of evolution, and the aspect of Mother Earth. I can go on and on and on what the 5 are. But for the sake of keeping it simple so that you are with me and got lost in the concept, everything that we talked about, Last class is about sadhana. Now you have to practice the concept of sarvalingagga sthapayati. Pani mantram pavitram. Vamadeva, the direction on the north, and then how that relates to sustenance. And then the third is the Aghora, which is the direction towards the south. And now that relating to dissolution, and the dissolution meaning dissolving the mind into that which is beyond judgment associated with the three aspects or attributes, so that you are beyond this judgment about good, bad, beaut, pretty, ugly, and so on and so forth. And that is the mantra where we paused. And this dissolution or destruction is related to the element of fire, and death associated with the direction to the south. And there, that is where this whole aspect of the third aspect of connecting to the, so everything that we're talking about is now sadhana. You have to see these things in and out. And then the last two mantras associated with the, now the wind and the space. Tat purushaya vidmahe mahadevaya dhimahi tanno rudrah prachodayat. Three things in this. Now this is the Rudra Gayatri. This mantra is also called Rudra Gayatri. And there are three things mentioned here. Vidmahe, Dhimahi, Prachodayat. And you take many of these Gayatri. Sai Ishwaraya, Vidmahe, Satyadevaya, Dhimahi, Tanna Sarvah Prachodayat. Prachodayat. And you can take all the Gayatri mantras. Vidmahe, Dhimahi, Prachodayat. Vidmahe means knowing, I know. Dhimahi, I retain. It is retained. Dhimahi, prachodayat. Now I expand by caring and sharing, and I expand. Every mantra has three things. First, you know. Second, you understand. Third, you become aware of it. You know is with Mahe. You understand is, or retain it by understanding. That is Dhimahi Prachodayat. Now you become aware of it. Aware of it what? By expansion of it. So now this Tat Purushaya Vidmahe. Who is Tat Purusha? That Purusha, I know. Huh? Purusha is colloquially translated as man, but that is completely incorrect. The word Purusha has three meanings associated with this. Purusha. Purusha means the one who is present in a place, the one who is full, Purna, and the one who fills the space, Pura. In Hindi, there is a word Pura. Kam Pura karo. Full, do it full. Purna, fullness. Pura, place. Now I know that which is filling this space. Uh, what is filling the space? In the five elements of the nature, what is filling the space? Wind. Therefore, this mantra is about wind. Tat Purushaya Vidmahe Mahadevaya Dhimahi. Now, I'm using wind as an example to experience part of it. And when you experience that part of it, do you see the wind? Does wind have a shape? And the wind doesn't even have a smell. It carries the smell on which it goes up. So what can you do about this wind? You can only feel it. The other three elements of the nature, they have five properties. They have the ability to carry a vibration. For example, the Mother Earth, the Earth has five properties: ability to carry a vibration, the concept of perception, you can feel the earth, and then the third is there is a form, there is a smell, and there is a taste. All these five properties are there. And by the way, this Ganesh Chaturthi is celebrating this, all the five aspects of the Mother Earth, because the whole story about Ganesha is the element of Mother Earth. And that Mother Earth is symbolized by the Bijaksharam Lam. And therefore, that Lam is how you start the Ganesha Atharva Sirsham. Om Lam Namaste Ganapataye. And that is present in the Muladhara. Lam. Then the next one is water, Manipura. Then there is the third one, Swadhisthana, where the fire element is present. Now you come to your heart chakra, Anahata. See, all of this is experience within yourself. It is no longer, and how do you experience this? Through sadhana, through practice. And when you are practicing this aspect, you are experiencing all this within yourself. You experience outside the wind. You experience in your heart that which you can feel, but that has no form, no shape, no smell. Three properties disappeared. Only two properties are remaining with the wind. One is about the ability to carry the vibration, the shabda, and the second is the ability to feel it, sparsha. Shabda, sparsha are the two. Shabda, there is a sound associated with wind, and there is a feeling to the wind. You can feel the wind. And therefore, those are the two properties that are associated with it. Mahadevaya Dhimahi Tanno Rudrah Prachodayat. And that is the expansion consciousness as the Rudra. Now, we talked about three aspects of functionalities: evolution, resolution, dissolution. Dissolution. Those are the three. And what is this one? This is very difficult to understand. There is a fourth function called redaction. Redaction into that, the source, the seed, and that redaction, the source of everything, is the Rudra. And so everything is now redacted. Redaction. I hope you understand the word redaction, or retrieved, or retracted, or drawn into that which is not seen and that which is felt. That is your source. And that source is here. And that source is the Rudra. I hope that makes sense. So first you know Tat Purushaya Vidmahe, that which is filling everything. And that which is filling everything is Mahadevaya Dhimahi. It's the supreme light. Very similarly, light is the another practical example of that which is filling everything, that which can be seen but no form, and that because of which everything is seen. Just speaking about it, I am getting blissed out. And to be 100% truthful to you all, there is no preparation of this satsang. Because if there is a preparation, my mind will inject some thoughts into it. When you actually experience it and then you share it, that is prachodayat. When you know it, you just know it. When you understand it, that means you are retaining it. And then when you share it, you are sharing the awareness. And that awareness is prachodayat. And what is that awareness? The awareness of the source that is within. Tanno Rudraf prachodayat. And then the last part. So, Srushti Sthiti Laya, what we call evolution, resolution, dissolution, or generation, organization, dissolution, are the most commonly known functionalities of observing objects. Because you can see an object evolve, you can see an object sustain, and then you can see an object resolve. But what happens after it dissolves? Does it disappear? No, it doesn't disappear. It goes into this seed state, and that seed state is into which the whole tree is redacted or retracted into. And then what happens to that seed again? Does it remain as the seed? No. Again, it sprouts back into the plant because of the divine will. And that divine will is what is called anugraha. Ah, I'm sorry, I cannot really try to explain to you because it is very difficult to explain some of these concepts until you really get the practice of what those are. But these are the five functionalities. And what is these five functionalities? In Sanskritam, they are called Srushti, Sthiti, Laya, Tirodhana, Sankalpa. And this Sankalpa, the closest word of transliteration is divine will. The seed will sprout because of this divine will. And that divine will is the knower of all that is to be known, the master operating system that exists in the universe and operates all the beings, and the master protector of that divine awareness, supreme awareness, the protector of those that are already in that awareness, and that is the supreme omniscience and omnipresence and omnipotence. And very simply put, I am that Tattvamasi. What did I do right now? I didn't chant the mantra for you. I have spoken about that mantra in the awareness of that mantra. And that mantra is Ishana Sarva Vidyanam, Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam, Brahmadhipatihi, Brahmanaha, Adhipatihi, Brahma, Sivaha, Me, Astu, Sada, Shivom. ईशानः सर्वविद्यानामीश्वर सर्वभूतानां ब्रह्माधिपतिर्ब्रह्मणोऽधिपतिर्ब्रह्मा शिवो मे अस्तु सदा शिवोऽहम्. Arey, brothers and sisters, these mantras are not some chants to appease some god that is present outside. These mantras are Da Vinci codes and principles of supreme presence and living in the awareness that constantly connects you as the all-knower, as the all-potent, and as the all-present. That's it. You have only three functionalities: that you know, that you do, and that you are. That you know, that you do, that you are. Take everything else. So what is it that you have to know? That which needs to be known, the knower of all that is to be known. And if you give that one word, that is Ishana, and what does this Ishana do? Ishana Sarva Vidyanam. Ishana Sarva Vidyanam. The knower of all that is known. Give one word in English, it's called omniscient. And that is the Ishvara Sarvabhutanam. What is this word Ishvara? Ishvara. Sa Ishvaraya vidmahe, we say. Who is this Ishvara? The Ishvara, because some of these videos are being shared with children that are learning Shivopasana Mantra. And by the way, these children may get this concept much faster than the adults because they have much less garbage to clear before connecting to the concept. And that is Ishvara means there are zillion, gazillion, billions of these iPhones in the world. Huh? You all know the iPhone. And this iPhone has an operating system in it, iOS. The operating system. The operating system that operates the iOS. And that operating system for all the billions of iPhones is only one. And that operating system is getting upgraded. And without asking any questions, you say, I accept. Because if you don't, your iPhone is useless. And that operating system for all the eyes in the whole universe is called Ishvara, the master operating system, MOS. The iOS is Ishvara operating system, iOS. I don't know what it is for Android. Doesn't matter, the concept is the same. And therefore, what happens then? This Ishvara, Sarvabhutanam, is present in all the beings as the operating system that controls all the apps, controls all the data, controls everything associated with that iPhone, and that is omnipresent. And then Brahma Adhipatihi. Adhipati means the potent, the one, the protector of that Brahma. Here, Brahma doesn't mean the four-headed iconic symbol of Brahma. You can substitute Brahma as consciousness or awareness, the master awareness, and the protector. Adhipati, Pati means the protector. Adhipati means the supreme protector. Supreme protector of the Brahmanaka. Brahmanaka doesn't mean a caste here. Brahmana means the one who is already in that awareness. And who is this? Shivo me, Sivaha me, that Shiva within, and may I be that. I am that Shiva, Astu Sada Shivom. Now this is upward direction. This is upward direction. And this is Sankalpa. This is the Anugraha. Anugraha, then Tirodhana, Anugraha, or what is also called Sankalpa. don't want to really explain the words anugraha. It has a very deep, beautiful meaning of anugraha, which is colloquially really very much misunderstood. So, what is remanifesting itself? What is remanifesting itself is this sankalpa. It again, the anugraha, that which follows. The seed is now sprouting into the plant. Why does the seed sprout into the plant? The seed sprouts into the plant again because when it is placed in the right place at the right time with the right environment and right nutrients, this seed sprouts again into the plant. And therefore this divine I am constantly remanifests itself because of its own will. And for those of you who are already evolved souls, all of this is beautifully described in one shloka by in Dakshinamurti Stotram by Shankaracharya. Be in the seed is present the whole plant, the whole tree, and that seed, when planted in a space at the time, will manifest itself in its identity in such a beautiful way. Very simply put, the divine within you, when that has willed, the whole thing is now projected out from you, just like the magician will project the entire magic and it appears as a magic in front of you. Similarly, the whole world now becomes a projection from within this deep self because of the divine will. बीजशान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पः पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्र्यचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयात्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नम इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये. I'm sorry if I'm bothering you with all these shlokas and the terms that you don't understand, but I have to be grateful in acknowledging the source, and I can only acknowledge the source by chanting the original composition by that Maharshi, the Rishi, and that is acknowledging even these mantras that we are talking about are acknowledging the greatness of that scripture, and you will get the water. If the water is deep, you have to dig deep, and if your awareness goes inside, you go deep into that awareness. And how much ever your awareness is, only to that much the divine will manifest. Okay, so now I will not get into the deeper meaning of that Ishana Sarva Vidya. It's a incredibly deeper meaning to all of these, and I only touched the surface of those just to keep us all engaged. So what is it that we are practicing now? 5 mantras we are practicing. Sadhyo Jata Vamadeva, Aghora Tatpurusha Ishana. And we are practicing these mantras by seeing that divine presence as manifested in 5 directions, as manifested in 5 functions, as manifested in 5 elements, as manifested within yourself, as mano, buddhi, chitta, ahankara, jnata, translating them into English, the mind, the intellect, mano, buddhi, the memory, the doer, and what that is retained. Mano, buddhi, chitta, ahankara, jnata. These are the Sanskritam words for those. Those words don't mean anything. Let's only talk in English, because English means something, at least you know. But then the deeper within is the practice associated with this. And that practice, as we get into this practice, then what will be the final step? We talked about 3 things: concept, practice, percept. What happens with all this practice? With all the practice, the concept is now becoming percept. And what is that percept now? What happens after practice and practice and practice and practice? नमो हिरण्यबाहवे हिरण्यवर्णाय हिरण्यरूपाय हिरण्यपतयेऽम्बिकापतय उमापतये पशुपतये नमो नमः. Now you become that which is Hiranyabhave, Hiranyavarnaya, Hiranyarupaya, Hiranyapataye, Ambikapataya, Umapataye, Pashupataye, Namo Namaha. Now here you will see refrain of two words. One is Hiranya and the other is Pataye. It's like learning a bhajan and going into not only the singing part of it that you get tutored in bhajan practice, but you also have to understand the words, how to pronounce them, and most importantly, what do they mean. Ganapati Om, Jaya Ganapati Om. When we are singing that, Mushika Vahana Gajanana, Modaka Hasta Gajanana, Paramaniranjana Gajanana. What do those words mean? Bhajan singing becomes an incredibly different experience. Singing technically, the song part of it is only, I will say, 1/10 of the experience of the bhajan. 90% of it is actually understanding the words, and then when you sing these words, not only understanding but then becoming aware of it, then bhajan sings through you. You don't sing a bhajan. Bhajan sings through you. Your awareness manifests through you. Similarly, learning the mantra and how to chant it is a very small portion of it. Then understanding what the mantra is and then living in the mantra and making it a perception, not simply a concept. So now we come to the perception. Hiranya Pataye. What does this word Hiranya? Hiranya, if you look at a book, Sanskrit dictionary, and you look at it, it's called golden. So what is the literal meaning of this? Hiranya Bahave, golden shoulders. Hiranya Varna, complexion, golden complexion. Hiranya Rupa, then it is golden form. Then three patis are there. Ambika pataye, Uma pataye, Pashu pataye. Three patis are there. Who are these patis? Pati actually means protector. The one who is protector of Ambika, Parvati, Uma, another name for Parvati, Pashu, animals. Now, what is this percept of all these things? Now, if I am not a Hindu, this Uma Pataye, husband of Uma, Parvati, Ambika Pataye, husband of Ambika, Pashupataye. Pashupati means Shiva, the one who is sitting on a bull. What do those words mean? Nothing. Nothing. Then the one who is practicing all this through has come to a state to realize a Hindu God. No, not at all. So then you have to understand the Da Vinci codes. And how do those Da Vinci codes get revealed? Only through practice, 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 sadhana, sadhana. And that's the reason why we do this sadhana of chanting Rudram and Devi Matyam over and over and over again before a yajna. And therefore, Hiranya doesn't mean just, Hiranya simply doesn't mean gold. Hiranya actually means Hita Ramaniya, and when you put them together, then it becomes a Hiranya. Hita means useful, Ramaniya means beautiful. So suddenly, when you substitute this Hiranya with useful and beautiful, Bahu means shoulders. Shoulders are action. So your actions are useful and beautiful. Color. Color means that which you express. Color means that which is expressed. And that color means what is expressed. Your intent is expressed as action. Before you act, you have an intent. With what purpose? Or purpose is probably a simpler word. What is the purpose of my action? And that purpose, is it useful or is it beautiful? Is it useful and beautiful? So, not just the action, the intent or the purpose behind that action. Hiranya Varnaya. Hiranya Rupa. Rupa means form. When your intent is beautiful and useful, your action is useful and beautiful, your body language associated with that will also be useful and beautiful. Hiranya Rupaya. Then what happens? You become the master of your own existence. Ambika Pataya. And that Ambika, Amba, has two syllables in it. Amba. Means inside. Ba is outside. Hey, sir, what? You are making that up? Huh? Are you making that up? No, I'm not making that up. It is told in another Veda mantra. Antar Bahischa Tat Sarvam. Whatever exists inside and outside. Antar. Antar is Bahi. Ba. First two letters. So then you became Amba. Ambika Pataya. You become the master of your own existence, both inside and outside. Are we all following? Practical application of the mantras. Uma Pataya, Pashupataya. Now, this is now incredible. Uma here, as I mentioned, colloquially referred to as Mother Parvati. But Uma is actually the Shakti that is expressed through a Vyakti. Swami's beautiful play with the words and how he puts this together. He says, a Shakti, the power inside, when expressed, becomes the individual, the Vyakti. And with this Vyakti has what is called passion within him, called passion. And that passion, when it is turned towards the worldly aspect, it is Rakti. But if it is turned inside in love for God, it becomes bhakti, bhakti, devotion. Bhakti, when it matures, will lose attachment towards worldly objects because it is completely focused on the divine love, and therefore it becomes a virakti, detachment, detachment for worldly attachments, and that virakti leads to mukti, liberation. Vyakti has a Shakti. Shakti, when it is turned towards world, becomes Rakti. Same Shakti, when turned towards God, becomes Bhakti. And when Bhakti leads to detachment from worldly things, it is a Virakti. And when Virakti matures, it becomes Mukti, liberation. Vyakti, Shakti, Rakti, Bhakti, Virakti, Mukti. What you are getting into now is the Siddhi, means the perception. Siddhi. And that Siddhi here is in this context of it. When you have now lived this, practiced this awareness of seeing the divine in everything, because the five elements, the five aspects, the five inside you, the five as in functionalities, all this is practice, practice, practice. And when you get to that stage, then what happens? Your actions are useful and beautiful. That is Siddhi. Now percept. Percept. Your actions are useful and beautiful. Your intent, purpose behind that. Hiranya Varnaya, useful and beautiful. Hiranya Rupaya, your forms becomes, your form itself is useful and beautiful. And then you become the master of what is inside and outside of you. And also not only that, you have this control over your own Shakti and that Uma. And then you are Pashu Pati. Pashu here means animals. Pashu also means that which are bound, that which are tied to a pole and cannot go beyond a boundary. And those Pashus are your senses. And then you become a master of your senses. And then you become the mastermind. That master of the senses is Ganapati, Pashupati, Ganapati. Ah, Swami, thank you. How he has beautifully connected the whole thing associated with Ganesh Chaturthi with this Shivopasana mantra. Ganapati, Bhagavan explains, Ga means buddhi, Na means siddhi. Ganapati means the master of intellect and what the mind does through senses. Pashupati, Pashupataye namo nama. This is siddhi now. Why it is siddhi? Do you have awareness of your own actions? Yes, you do. Do you have awareness of your own intent or the purpose behind it? Yes, you do. Do you have control and awareness your own body language? Yes, you do. Then have you become the master of your own power and you have become a master over what is inside you and outside you? Because what is inside you is what is outside you. That is another beautiful subject we can take later on. And then you are the master of your own senses, the Ganapati and the Pashupati. The words are different. The meaning they convey are exactly the same. In the totality of awareness, everything gets integrated. And that which is expressed as Ganapati, Pashupati, Gopala, all mean the same. Gopala. Pala means the one who is ruling. Go means the individual. Go also means the senses. Pala means the one who is ruling over. So Gopala means the ruler of the senses. Ganapati, Gana means the senses, or Gana means your buddhi and also your siddhi, your mind and the intellect. Pati means the master. Ganapati, the master of the mind and the intellect. Pashu means that which is bound. Pashu here means the limitedness of your senses, and the one who is the protector or the master of those senses. Pashupati, Pashupati, Ganapati, Gopala, everything integrated. And the meanings of those words are not restricted to only worship this elephant headed god, or worship that guy who is the cowherd, or worship that guy who is sitting on a bull. All those are symbolic symbols. They're nothing to do with what the actual awareness is. They're projections of those awareness. So they're projected so that you can see them and you can relate to them. Don't look at the idol as I shared in the last session. Look at the ideal behind the idol. Then you will truly connect to even more beautifully connect to the idol you are worshipping. And tomorrow for Ganesh Chaturthi or today in USA, don't simply look at this idol and this idol of the Ganapati with an elephant head and the rest of the human body, what all he is holding in his hand, everything has beautiful symbolic awareness. And Bhagavan has explained all those things in his discourses wonderfully. Since that is not the topic of today, maybe sometime when Atharva Sirsham is learnt by you, we will get into the Mahaganapati Tattva. Now the next mantras are simply now expression or the perception of that or experience of that awareness. So I call this perception, you can substitute with experience. Experience Ratagum Ritam Satyam Param Brahma Purusham Krishna Pingalam Urdhvaretam Virupaksham Vishwarupaya Vai Namo Namaha. As you see, look at these mantras now. Namo Namaha. Namo Namaha is the refrain. Huh? Namo Namaha in the first mantra, first ruk. Namo Namaha in the second ruk. Sarvo Vai Rudras Tasmai. That mantra also ends with Namo Namaha. Namo Astu. Namo Astu. Namo, 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 Namo. Namaha, when you reverse it, becomes Manaha. Namaha, reverse it, Manaha. From Nama came the word Namaj. Namaj came from Namaha, the root. Namaha, that which doesn't belong to me. Or I am not just that. Or that which is beyond my mind. So many different ways of interpreting this Namaha. Namaha, te, Namaha plus te becomes Namaste. Namaste. And when you do the Namaste, what you're doing? Again, go back to the five that we just talked about. The five inside, the five outside together, and you unify those two. 5 plus 5 becomes 1, not 10. 5 plus 5 became 1. And this oneness is what you are saluting to in the context of the next mantras. Ritam, that which is perceived. Satyam, that which is the truth. It is the supreme consciousness, Param Brahma. And this Param Brahma is Purusha, the one who is manifesting in all or spreading in all. Spreading in all as what? Krishna, black, Pingala, orangish red. So the whole universe is spread in two colors, the black and the Pingalam, the orangish red. Vibjor, deep black, violet, all the way to red, violet, indigo, whatever colors you learned. That is the spectrum, Krishna Pingalam. Urdhvaha etam, that which is as expansive as the sky. Virupa aksham, that which is seen by that which cannot be seen. Aksha means eye. Virupa aksham means colloquially three-eyed. But the three eyes here represent who you think you are, who others think you are, and the one who you really are. That is distorted eyes. Virupa aksham. But in reality, it is the cosmic form, Vishwarupam, and salutations to that. Ritam Satyam. Ritam, the gum comes because of Yajurveda chanting. Ritam Satyam. Ritam means that which is in nature you can perceive the fact. And the Satyam is that which is behind that, but not necessarily perceived. So it is in both is present the divine consciousness. Means what? What you perceive is the world, and what you do not perceive is what is the subject matter of that. The moment you perceive it, what happened? Purusha, you have seen that which has pervaded in all that which you have perceived. And the moment you perceive that, you are perceiving it in the entire world that is spanned by your ability to perceive in the seven colors and above and beyond. This is so incredible. You ask a child, what is the color of the sky? They say blue. What is the color of the ocean? They say blue, because that's what you see. But truly speaking, does the sky have a color? Truly speaking, does the ocean have a color? So don't get carried by just what you see. When you truly interrogate, you see that infinity that is present in front of you as the space or the ocean. It takes this color, blue color. Incidentally, I'm also wearing a blue shirt today. Krishna Pingalam. So the next ruk, I know I want to complete the next two ruks. Sarvo vai rudraha tasmai rudraya namo astu, very much, astu, verily, here and now. Everything is Rudra, and to that Rudra I offer my salutations here and now. And who is this Rudra? This Rudra is Purushaha, and this Rudra is also San Mahaha. Namo Namaha. Same repetition of the same principle. Now at the end of it, we are talking the same principle in so many different ways. Why? Because now you can see, oh, this is that, this is the same, this is the same, that is the same. Infinite things that are, they're all the same. Sarva vai rudraha, tasmai rudraya namaha. Astu, here and now. Purusho vai rudraha, what is all pervading. If the same Rudra, when he is all pervading, he is Purusha. Sanmaho, Namo, Namaha. So what is happening now? What is about all this world, sir? All this world that I am seeing, the universe, Vishwam, Bhutam, Bhuvanam, Chitram, Bahudha, Jatam, Jayamanam Chayatu, Sarvaha, Esha Rudraha, Tasmai Rudraya, Namo Astu. Now I am breaking the words so that you can connect to the meaning. Whatever is this universe, here and now, and the world that is beautifully expressed as manifold, Bahudha, Chitram, Jatam, Jayamanam, that is coming, that is going, all of that. Within all of that, there is this thing, only Rudra that is present. Esha Rudraha, Tasmai Rudraya, Namo Astu. Are, what is this now? Everything coming and going, there is only one thing that is present. Yes, there is only one thing that is present, not many. Take all these ornaments, whether you call it a ring, whether you call it a whether it called a ring, whether you call it a necklace, whether you call it a bracelet, whatever it is, there is only one substance that is present, but it is appearing in many beautiful forms. But these, all these names and forms, these ornaments, they are coming and going. Today it is a bracelet. When somebody gets it from me afterwards, they may not like a bracelet. They may take it to a blacksmith and change it into a beautiful necklace. But this gold is the same. That is the principle that they are talking about. Vishwam Bhutam Bhuvanam Chitram Bahudha. Now you are really in Shivopasana. You are now seated and grounded in this oneness of the Shiva consciousness. And that Shiva doesn't represent the idol, the iconic Shiva that is only limited to Hindus. Every mantra, every principle is now talking about what is applicable to universal consciousness that is present as the blood which is the same in all the beings, independent of the colors, the caste, the creeds, the gender, whatever it is. Sarvaha Esha Rudraha Tasmai Rudraya Namo Astu. Now this last mantra, Kadrudraya Prachetase, Meedhushtamaya Tavyase, Vochema Shantamagum Hride, Sarvaha Esha Rudraha, Tasmai Rudraya, Namo Astu, refrain, same as the previous mantra. Kathaya Rudraya Kadrudraya. Kathaya Rudraya means I am now extolling that Rudra. Prachetase, who helps in expand my consciousness, my conscience into consciousness. Through what? Meedhushtamaya, by incredible downpour of that divine grace, torrential downpour of grace. Vochema, the one who is now extolled and praised, we speak of him who is in fact Shantamam, auspiciousness, manifest right within Hriday, Hriday, that infinite compassion, the Hridaya in my own heart, that to him which is present in all, Sarvaha, Esha Rudraha, Tasmai Rudraya, Namo Astu. Now you see what a beautiful experience this is. What a beautiful experience this is. And when you are truly now chanting these mantras, you are not chanting anymore. This mantra is chanting you. Mantra is happening through you, not you chanting mantra. That is the first step. The second step is this mantra now starts chanting the mantra. And the third step, mantra is chanting you. The first step is you know the mantra. The second step is understand the mantra. And that is retained when the mantra is actually running like a cycle. Arey, how is this mantra running in me, sir? It's already happening. Whether you know it or not, it is happening. It is happening when you know it, it is happening. And it is happening without you even knowing that it is happening. And that mantra that is happening is so hum, 21,600 times. That is the japa that is happening. Shivo hum, so hum. If you take the sa, and if you take the aha, sa plus aha becomes so, and in so the o, and in aham the that is om. When it is happening in you and you recognize it, it is so hum. That which is happening in the all the universe is om. How do I get from so hum to om? Eliminate the sa, eliminate the ha, the aha, the individual self, and now what you act, the relative self, what remains is the absolute self, and that is Shivo Hum, and that is Shivopasana. That is what we have done in 3 steps. The first step is the concept, the second step is sadhana, the third step is experience. Without this experience, without this, the middle portion, the sadhana, concept remains as a concept. Experience varies and experience will not be stabilized. And that experience that you share cannot be relatable to others without this commonality of sadhana. When we are all in that path of that sadhana, and in that sadhana, after you have done that sadhana, when you all come together, then you are collectively in that awareness. And that collective awareness is the true experience to realize the concept into this collective experience. And that is what the prayer we start with, and that is the prayer that we end with. Bhagwan is the cause, he is the action, he is the doer, the doing, the done, and the undone. Then who are you? I am simply this instrument through which all of that is happening. With that, thank you all for your indulgence and patience, and those that are joining from many parts of the world, and my lovely brothers and sisters from South Africa. I dearly love you so much because I experienced this collectively in the yajna performed in Durban. And sorry about that. It's the expression of the love, how much service was done, how much love for Bhagwan is experienced. I am ever grateful to Swami for that. Jai Sai Ram. Thank you all. Kabir, back to you.
Oh, as Swami says, in depth of silence, voice of divine is heard. And I think we're all in a state of silence. We are blissed out and just so grateful. Uncle Shekhar, I think we're so lucky and fortunate that in this wonderful forest of the Vedas, you have given us the root of the syllable and the sweet meaning behind it. And that is truly the essence of the Veda Rasa, to taste the sweetness. And truly, this series has been useful and beautiful. I hope that with Veda Mata's blessings, as you have mentioned, the concept, the sadhana, and the experience, that we can move from concept to the precept. And just as Kanaka Rishi, when he said, Tvam Brahma, Tvam Vishnu, Tvam Rudras, he saw this beautiful mantra come to life. May we not just learn and chant the mantra, but may we live the mantra and experience it in its fullness. I think each of these beautiful three-part series of Shivopasana has been pearls of wisdom in this ocean of the Veda. And every time we swim and we revisit these episodes, it will become sweeter and deeper. And hopefully we'll be able to transition and realize the true concept, as you've shared, about Amba, Antar Bahishcha, and experience that Veda inside and outside and all around us, and be like a fish where that Veda is around us always. No question has come through. I think you've left everyone in a state of bliss. Which is so beautiful.
It is useful and beautiful, but not meaningful.
No, it's definitely meaningful.
Sai Ram. So I left for your request 10 minutes for questions.
Sure.
Okay.
And if any of the brothers and sisters do have any questions, you're welcome to put them in the chat box. So long. Perhaps we're now experiencing this time of Ganesha Chaturthi. I think it's truly divine design that the Shivopasana and the deeper meaning behind every single verse and syllable has prepared us to be in a state of consciousness for Ganesha Chaturthi. When you think of the aspects of Ganesha, two questions come to mind. One is, what is the connection between Ganesha being seated in the Muladhara? And the second question is, Ganpati is master of the senses. What should we pray to the master of senses for on Ganesha Chaturthi?
So two questions. What is the symbolism associated with Ganesha associated with Muladhara? That is, are the primordial chakra. That is the energy center within us. For those of you who are not familiar with that, there are 7 centers of energies within the body, and the very bottom one where your body touches the Mother Earth, that center is what is the energy center, is the first center. It's called Mula Adhara, means Adhara means the substratum, the basis, the source and the basis. Mula Adhara. Mula is the basis, Adhara is the basis, Mula means the root. So just like,
Wow.
where are the roots of a tree? The roots of a tree is in what? Earth. What is the source of existence of the tree? Earth. So Mula Adhara means earth.
Amazing.
Mula means root. Adhara means source, the base. The root is in the tree, and the source of the root is the earth. The root is in the earth, and the source of the root is the earth. That which sustains the root and the whole tree is the earth. And therefore, and when you sit with the lotus, posture, what you touch is the earth, and therefore the essence of our existence, the source of our existence, and we are rooted in the earth. In fact, without that earth, you cannot even excrete. This earth is totally hugging you with its gravitational force. Without that gravitational force, the hug of the Mother Earth, you would not have even fallen onto this earth from your mother's womb. The first one that hugs you, even before your own physical mother hugs you, is the Mother Earth. Now there is so much we can see. Now this is all in the awareness of the Mother Earth. That is what is called Mula Adhara. That is the literal meaning of the words. Mula means root, Adhara means source. The root and the source of the tree is the earth. What is this earth to do with Ganapati? If you look at how this Ganapati came into existence, mythologically, he came into existence from the earth of his mother, which is the Malinya. She took that and she combined it with Mother Earth and made this Ganapati. That is the reason why every year we make the Ganapati with Mother Earth. And what comes out of this mother? Now I'm giving a talk on Ganesh Chaturthi. What comes out of this Mother Earth? Various types of trees, flowers, fruits. They come out of this Mother Earth. So the expression of the love of this Mother Earth is twofold. This Mother Prakriti, the Mother Nature, Parvati. Now I'm giving it as a symbolic aspect that is not relevant to just Hinduism. So therefore, you worship this Ganapati with 21 different leaves, 21 different flowers, the grass blades, and everything is about worship of the mother nature on this Ganesh Chaturthi. In fact, this Ganesha is none other than you. You are the Ganesha because you came out of this Mother Earth. You are sustained by Mother Earth, and therefore you show your gratitude by putting this Ganesha outside, who is actually inside you and made of this mud, and you worship. And therefore, this Ganesha is the representation of the Mother Earth, which is Muladhara, which is the aspect of worship of Mother Earth.
Wow, beautifully expressed. Is it correct to say then by respecting nature, we are honoring Ganpati?
Yes. In fact, Veda extols only two things: Mother Nature and the divine behind the Mother Nature. Only two things. You are intermediary. So, how do you express your gratitude to the Mother Nature? If you express your gratitude to Mother Nature, that is expressing gratitude, the divine behind it. So, two questions you asked. One is the Mooladhara, and the second thing is how do we worship Ganesha, right? Second, how do we show our gratitude to Ganesha? What's the best prayer or is that what you asked?
Yes, well, from a universal aspect,
Yeah.
with Ganpati being the master of the senses,
Yes.
what is the correct prayer on Ganesha Chaturthi to the master of the senses to go from concept to the precept?
Yeah. So we hopefully the concept of Ganesha is now precept, which is as I explained, earth is the source, and in the earth is the root. Know your root and worship your root. Know your root and what is the source from which you have rooted up, and go back to that root. And that root is also Rudra. And that root, now Ganapati, as we are talking about, Pashupati, Ganapati, Gopala, as I explained in the webinar, they're all different terms for the same functionality. Swami says in one beautiful discourse, Pashupati, Gopala, same functionality, same job description, forms are different. So this Ganapati doesn't actually represent just this iconic elephant-headed god. And now in the context of this elephant headness, that itself, and why does he have a mouse as a vehicle? Those in itself are very beautifully symbolic. First, look at the mouse. What does the mouse do? The mouse gathers everything from the world and packs it. So the mouse is about all your attachment to your belongings. That's why it's called rat packing. You keep accumulating things and you never want to give up. That is called mamakara, the mine. And then the elephant represents, if you have read the story of the wild elephant, how it is caught by the crocodile in Bhagavatam, etc. The elephant, from a negative aspect of it, is ahankara. That's why it's a wild elephant. So when you connect to the negative aspects of it, it is ahankara, mamakara, the I and the mine. And to lose these two aspects and to go back to your root is the entire sadhana. And then that ahankara becomes incredible awareness, and which is the Shakti aspect of it, and the losing all of that, which is the awareness aspect of it. Losing the belongings becomes becoming empty, and the emptiness is the Mother Parvati, the awareness is Shakti. So, who you are born, this is the beautiful mantra. What I am talking is not just this thing. There are references to this. Maha Ganesha Nirbhinna Vignayantra Pragarshita. Kamesh, that how the Ganesha came into existence, how the Ganesha will go back to his roots. To his root are Shiva and Shakti. So the Shivopasana is the transition from this Ganesha, who emerged from the Shiva and Shakti, who put the elephant head, Shiva, completely symbolic, 100% symbolic. How his body came into existence because of the Mother Earth, the Mother Nature, Parvati, the Prakriti, who put the head, the Purusha, and the head represents awareness, the body represents the mind, and therefore transcending the mind and the body, going back to your root as in awareness and existence. This is the essence of practice. So, what is the beautiful mantra related to this? Gananantva is a very beautiful mantra, and I have explained what is the meaning of that in other YouTube videos. It is found. And there is also this Shuklam Baradharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam. It's another beautiful mantra that completely describes what I have talked about. One mantra is enough. Okay, Jai Sai Ram. Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you so much.
Connection between Shivopasana mantra and Lingam Puja. Huh? Hey, hey, Zelimir, if you have seen the first video, I have explained what is Shiva, what is a Linga, and so that question is already answered. Okay, yes. So, what is the aspect of this lingam, and why do we do this abhishekam to the lingam? That's maybe where he's asking about. The abhishekam, as many people understand it, is like pouring a lot of things on this lingam. And this lingam, as I already mentioned, is about your four things that are about you: the thought, the intellect, the doer, and the memory. Those four things combined together is called lingam within you. That is what the lingam is. That's why it's called linga shariram. There is a word for it. The subtle body is called linga shariram. And this linga shariram is the combination of thought or the mind, the intellect that analyzes the thought, the doer that acts on the thought, and the memory that comes from the result of the action. The worship of everyday Linga Abhishekam is to purify those four things. It is not the Lingam that is impure, and you are not purifying the Lingam. What you are purifying is, how do you purify your thought? How do you clean your thought? How do you wash your thought? How do you wash your intellect? How do you wash the doership within you? Action. How do you wash the memory associated with the result of that action? Doing that is the spiritual significance of doing a abhishekam, not purifying a lingam, purifying your thought, your intellect, your doership, and the memory associated with them. This is you may not make any sense out of it as you listen to this, but that is the truth of the matter. And that, when you actually call that phenomenon, is called abhishekam, means there are three words in it: abhihi, sa, ekam. Did I explain this in the first webinar? I did. I think I did. So, abhihi, here and now, sa, with that, ekam, become one. That is abhishekam. Jai Sai Ram. Are there any questions on the YouTube?
There is one question from Sister Sonal. Can you give us the deeper meaning of agore, tagore?
If I have not done that last series, aghora, ghora, ghoratara. These three represents the three attributes or the qualities within us. And these three qualities, aghora is the equipoised, balanced mind or thought. Ghora is the active mind or passionate mind. And ghoratara is the inactive or mind in slumber. All these three are responsible for your judgments in life. When you are in slumber in ignorance, you don't even understand what is around you. Swami calls them Dunnapota. And then when you're overactive, this overactive, passionate mind is always constantly moving to achieve something, to have a result of something, to always focus on the result. And of the three, the balanced mind is the closest. But even that is not 100% purity. Very, very beautiful story of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa about these three, what we call as gunas, are the minds within us. The word guna and gana. Guna, gana, Ganapati again. So, these three gunas, Ramakrishna, Bhagavan Ramakrishna explains very beautifully, are like three robbers. And you lost your way and you went into a forest in your journey. The guy who kills you and robs you is the slumber mind or the ignorant mind. The guy who robs you but leaves you alone is the rajasic or the passionate mind. And there is a third mind. He'll take the money from you, but he will give you enough money to take an Uber back to the city, takes you to the road and says, here, take this extra the money that I robbed from you. He'll keep 90%. He'll give you the 10% and say, please call the Uber, and that is the way the city is. Please go there. Those are the Aghora, the Ghora, and the Ghoratara. And what you are saying, may my mind not be placed with any of those three. Aghorebhyo, athagorebhyo, ghora ghoratarebhya, sarvebhya sarva sharvebhyo, namaste astu rudra rupebhya. All these Rudras, I recognize these three that are present in all the Rudras around me, and they are the Sharvas, and I salute to them so that A, they don't kill me and take away the money, B, they will rob me and leave me in the forest, so I am clueless, and the third guy who is at least more useful, but still I have to take the Uber and go into the city. Even that guy who gave me the 10 rupees will not help me get back to the city. It's a beautiful example of a parable of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. But you are thankful to them. First to the guy who didn't kill you, not killing you, who is leaving you alone, etc. That is the beautiful meaning of that mantra. And what is that related to? From the context of the experience point of view, you are experiencing these three gunas within you. But you have to take your mind above them, and above your awareness should be above and beyond them, so that your mind gets dissolved in that awareness. That's why that mantra represents dissolution of the three gunas within you. Jai Sai Ram. Is this, is it like a
Wow.
is it like a googly?
Beautifully answered. I actually wanted to say that, Uncle Shekhar, any question you receive, it can be a googly, it can be a carom off spin, leg spin, you're able to answer it beautifully.
I'm not
And
answering it. I hope I'm not making up the
sure,
answer. That
sure.
answer is in the awareness. The
Yes.
answer truly is in the awareness. And in the question is most of the time the awareness itself. If you put it to somebody else, it's a question. When you reflect back it upon yourself, it is the answer.
Wow.
The answer is in the question.
I think each phrase, when I rewatch this beautiful series, I'm gonna, YouTube has the video player has the different speed modes. I'm gonna put it on half speed, and each line I'll be
Sai Ram.
able to enjoy it so much.
So
Just
that
want
you
to
can
thank you.
so that you can return the ball.
Yes,
When it slows down, you can hit the ball. If it is too
absolutely.
fast, you cannot hit the ball. Jai Sai Ram. And can you close with Yadakshara Pada Bhrashtam, and also Sai Gayatri with the prayer. Oh, actually, we do the prayer. Yes, yeah, Sai.
Sure. Just want to thank you again, Uncle Shekharji, and all the sisters and brothers for tuning in. What a wonderful way as we commence this time of Ganesha Chaturthi. He is the cause, the action, the doer, the doing, the done, and the undone. We pray that He allows us and shapes us to be perfect instruments in His divine mission. Om Saishwaraya Vidmahe Satyadevaya Dhimahi Tanna Sarvah Prachodayat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Jai Guru Bhagwan Shri Satya Sai Baba Ji ki Jai.